The Turnpike Sports Pro Football Pick segment is brought to you by Betfred Sportsbook. Never miss a bet with Betfred Sportsbook. Betfred Sports brings over 50 years of experience through the United States betting industry. Straight bets, in-play wagering, parlay cards, teasers, and more. Head on over to BetfredSports.com or download the Betfred Sportsbook app in Colorado, Iowa, or Arizona and get in on all the action today. New signups will receive up to $250 in free bets when wagering $50. Download the Betfred Sportsbook app today. Offer valid in Colorado, Iowa, and Arizona only. Visit BetfredSports.com for terms and conditions. Please gamble responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa, 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona, and 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado.
Welcome to NFL Week 14. This is the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Pick segment powered by Betfred Sports. I'm Doug Weishuttle here with Dave Weishuttle. We're here to talk to you about our best picks for the upcoming NFL weekend. It's been kind of a very interesting
I'm back to my traditional 2-in-1 weekend kind of thing. It's better than I've been doing the last couple weekends. So
I'll be honest. It's very interesting seeing our records for the season right now.
I don't even know what my record is.
We are separated by a half game.
Ooh. Okay.
After I started off 0-6.
Wow.
Right off the beginning of the season. We're now separated by a half game. And I'm starting to see some interesting trends coming throughout this entire regular season here.
Well, it's week 14, so we should be seeing some trends.
I'm actually more curious to see what these. Well, no, because I have to admit there were some teams at the beginning of the season that weren't playing well.
Yeah.
Especially Tampa Bay,
Green
Bay. Both of them have started playing better as of late.
Yes.
But if you look at the overall league, when the season first started, first couple of weeks, the underdogs and unders were both hitting over 60%.
Oh, yeah, no, it was just an underfest.
Well, they are now, both of them, the underdogs and the unders, have gone down about 5 percentage points from the beginning of the season. The dogs are hitting around 54% instead of the 58% that they used to be hitting at. And the unders, which were over around 61% for a while, are now down to about 56% hitting.
Okay.
So we're starting to see everything come back to a median.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun watching that develop as we go along here. I should actually chart this out at some point.
Yeah, you should have like a flow chart.
Yeah,
or something.
or a what do you call it?
Put it into the computer and have
the
a
graphs,
flow chart.
the graphs. So, but anyway, this is the Betfred Sports Pro Football Pick segment. This is Week 14. And as always, we use Tuesday morning points. So please check your points when you get closer to game time before you make a bet, or unless you want to do early betting.
Yeah,
either way.
Constantly check the lines. They're always moving.
There's a whole market of early betting.
Yeah,
which is kind of interesting in terms of comparative to a lot of people who wait till before the game kicks
and this
off.
is the time of year when you have to pay attention to weather.
Yes.
So
as a matter of fact, I have a game that I had to pay attention to the weather.
You looked at the weather report, huh?
The first thing I did for this one game.
All right.
Like I said, we use Tuesday morning lines from Betfred. We pick point spreads and totals. We do not use money line bets.
Yep. I saved them for my parlays.
Exactly. As I said, we're getting into Week 14, and let's head on over to the first game of the week. My first game of the week, I've got the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Detroit to play the Lions. Detroit, I think this might be one of the first times Detroit's favored in a game. They're favored by 1 point.
I took this game, too, and I was very surprised with the line.
And the over-under is 53.5.
Yep.
When I saw this on the schedule, after Week 13, watching what Minnesota did with the Jets and what Detroit did with Jacksonville, the first word that came to my mind was points.
Yeah.
You've got the Lions 40 points against Jacksonville. You've got the Vikings over the last couple of weeks. They played the Patriots and the Jets, two of the toughest defenses in the AFC, and they hung a bunch of points on both those teams. Now you have the Vikings coming in to face Detroit, which seems to be all offense, no defense.
Yeah.
And
you can say that about both teams, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I'm not too impressed.
More so with Detroit.
I'm not too impressed with the Vikings defense either.
The Vikings pass defense is where they're vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I think Detroit with Goff back there, Goff has been really lighting it up lately, which is really nice to see.
Yeah.
He was basically cast aside by the Rams, so he's playing extremely well. The over is 4-1 in the Vikings' last 5 versus the NFC North. And the over is also 4-1 in the Lions' last 5 versus the NFC North. The other stat I found out doing a little research: the over is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings between these two teams in Detroit.
Okay.
So as you can see, I'm following that very first instinct where I saw the word points when I looked at this game line, and I'm going over 53.5.
Okay, this is one of those games where you can find stats to prove your point in either direction.
Yes.
I have stats about these two teams, and I went with the under.
Really?
Yes, here are my stats. For the Lions, the under is 6-1 in their last 7 Week 14 games and 5-1 in their last 6 home games against a team with a winning record. Granted, very good offenses of both teams, very bad defensive for both these teams. But 53.5 is a lot of points. I mean, I think there will be a lot of points scored, but I'm going with the under. So we're going head-to-head on this one.
I'm thinking you're going to see a 28-27 type game. So
maybe,
it's just after seeing that 40-point.
I know,
so,
but I just God, that's a lot of points. 53.5. It's just a lot of points for me.
Well, we'll just see what happens.
It's like one of those point spreads. Like it's you see like minus 14. I can't do minus 14 in a pro game. That's what I'm seeing here in this total. That's just too many points. 53.5.
Going to that point spread kind of thing. I think I did that once this year and it backfired on me. So I'm not doing big point spreads. But point spread wasn't too bad in this one either.
No. Lions favored by 1.
Yeah.
So
let's head on over to the second game. Game number 2, I've got Carolina Panthers versus the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle's favored by 3.5. There's an over-under of 43.5. Carolina has just been a covering machine lately. They're 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. Seattle's going the other way. They're 0-3 against the spread in their last 3. But before those 3, Seattle was the covering machine. They were 5-1 against the spread in their previous 6.
I stayed away from this game just because of that. You know, these teams seem to be going in opposite directions, and you're not going to know what team shows up on Sunday. So it should be interesting.
Well, the one thing that made me look at this game a little harder was San Francisco losing Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Everyone is saying Seattle may be the winner of the NFC West.
Yeah.
Because of what happened there. I'm thinking you might see a renewed focus.
Well, we'll see how Purdy does, you know?
So,
Mr. Irrelevant over at the 49ers.
He wasn't too irrelevant there. So
he's not irrelevant anymore for the 49er fans.
But again, like I said before I coughed up a lung there, Jimmy G's out. Everyone's thinking Seattle is going to be the possible NFC West winner. You've got Seattle's 2-0-1 against the spread in their last 3 against Carolina. And Carolina is 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 in Seattle. They're playing in Seattle here. I really think you're going to see a very intense game by Seattle, both offense and defense. I'm going Seattle and laying the 3.5.
All right, my next game is the Baltimore Ravens traveling to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are 3-point favorites, and the total is 37 points. I got to tell you, I love the way the Pittsburgh Steelers have been playing over the last couple of weeks, and Kenny Pickett is really improving week to week. I mean, in their last 5 games after a win, the Steelers are 3-1-1 against the spread and are 5-2-1 against the spread in their last 8 home games. And the Ravens aren't doing so well, especially with an injury to Lamar Jackson. In their last 9 overall games, they are 2-6-1 against the spread. I mean, certainly with that injury to Jackson, you got to give the edge to Pittsburgh. So I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers and laying the 3 points.
All right, let's head on over to game number 3. Last game of the week. And I swore I would never, ever bet on my Jets again.
Uh-oh. Looking good, though. I mean, they're terrible in the red zone.
Yeah, 1 for 6.
And by the way, that was atrocious play calling.
No, that was a drop by Barrios.
Okay, but you shouldn't have been in that situation. With you were in the red zone a couple of times, and just
I think LaFleur's got to work on
running 2 times in a row. First down, I understand running, but first and second downs, come on, stop. Unless they saw something.
Also, you should never have an empty backfield in the goal line situation because it just tells everyone you're passing. They'll just hang back. But anyway, I've got the New York Jets going to Orchard Park, playing the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo's favored by 9. Over-under is 44.
This might be a weather game.
That's exactly what I was thinking because this is the first game all season I went to the weather report.
Okay.
I saw this on the Betfred screen, and I saw the 44. I looked at the weather. They're calling for snow. They're calling for 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh, okay.
And you've got Mike White, who the last time he played Buffalo didn't throw a touchdown pass, threw 4 interceptions, and the team only scored 17 points. I don't know if we're going to see something like that, but you've got snow, you've got wind, you got Mike F. and White, who can't really play against the Buffalo Bills, it looks like.
Okay.
And you have both really, really good defenses. I'm thinking the way everything is shaping out, the under is 6-1 in the Bills' last 7 against the AFC.
Okay.
The Jets, the under is 4-0 against the last 4 versus the AFC. I'm thinking you may see a defensive battle here, or I should just say a weather-related kind of low-scoring game.
I knew you were heading for an under the way you were talking.
44. I went under 44.
Under 44. Well, my last game is the Cleveland Browns traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are 6-point favorites, and the total is 47. I love it. The Battle of Ohio. This is always a great game. And by the way, it's always a high-scoring game. 3 of the last 4 of these two, when these two teams played each other, it went over. The total went over. So I think the over is 4-0 in the Bengals' last 4 games against a team with a losing record. And for the Browns, the over is 4-1 in their last 5 Week 14 games. And I guess given the trends, everything seems like it's an over in this game. It just these teams play each other great, and it seems they put a lot of points on the board. Like I said, 3 times out of the last 4 times these two teams have played, hit the over, and I'm going with the trends on this one. So I'm taking the over 47 points.
All right, let's recap our Week 14 picks. Why don't you go ahead and do your recap?
Well, the one we have is we're on opposite sides of it. I'm taking the under 53.5 points in the Vikings-Lions game. I'm taking the Steelers and laying the 3 points against the Ravens. And I'm taking the over 47 points in the Browns-Bengals game.
And as you said, I did the over 53.5 in the Vikings-Lions game. I'm going with Seattle laying the 3.5 against the Panthers. Did I say Seattle? Seattle laying the 3.5 against the Panthers. And I'm doing the under 44 in what I hope is going to be a blizzard full of Orchard Park.
A 3-0 game, huh?
Basically.
That's what you hope for. Huh?
I'm hoping for something like that. I'm hoping nothing happens, which is basically anti everything about American petting.
Yeah.
We want something to happen. Mm-hmm. These picks will be up in print form on the blog, turnpikesports.us. Click on the blog button. You'll see them there. Feel free to comment there. info@turnpikesportsradio.com is the email address to even send in your own picks. You can follow the show on Twitter @TurnpikeSports and the alternate handle @TurnpikeBets. We've got Facebook @Turnpike Sports and Instagram @TurnpikeSportsRadio.com. Sorry, @Turnpike Sports Radio for Instagram. That's it for us this week. Again, enjoy your NFL Sunday.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.